Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. Don't wear yourself out shopping and eating goodies. Stay focused, of course, in this season. This week, we're going to be talking about the working of the Holy Spirit, the works of the Holy Spirit, and how it makes some people afraid and how they don't really understand the working of the Holy Spirit. Well, we'll start this morning in Acts chapter 10. This is a story of Peter was called to the house of Cornelius, a Roman centurion, and to come and preach to the household. Now, the household would be a number of people, including children and servants and their families, and so there would be probably, especially with a Roman centurion who was around 100 people, men, that he would have been a significant citizen of the area, so he would have had a large household. So Peter's preaching, Acts chapter 10, verse 34, and Peter opened his mouth and said, "In truth I perceive that God shows no partiality," and he is in the middle of preaching. And Acts chapter 10 goes into verse 44, and it says, "While Peter was still speaking these words, the Holy Spirit fell upon all those who heard the word, and those of the circumcision who believed were astonished, as many as came with Peter, because the gift of the Holy Spirit had been poured out on the Gentiles also. And they heard them speak with tongues and magnify God." And then Peter, of course, answered, "Can anyone forbid water, that these should not be baptized who would receive the Holy Spirit?" But in the middle of Peter's preaching, the Holy Spirit breaks out. And people begin speaking in tongues and glorifying God. And, so you could actually say the Holy Spirit is the great interrupter, because sometimes he'll just interrupt a service and say, I feel like I want to say something or do something at this point of the service. In John 16, it says this, "I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. However, when he," the Holy Spirit, "the Spirit of truth has come, he will guide you into all truth, for he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak, and he will tell you the things to come. Therefore, I said that he will take of mine," this is Jesus speaking, "and declare it to you." So what we have is that the Holy Spirit is going to augment what your understanding of the Word is, guide and direct you if you allow him, and that he's going to walk alongside of you. Now, for instance, let's take Matthew 17. This is the Mount of Transfiguration. Well, Peter, James, and John are up with Jesus, and then he takes them to the high mountain, and he is transfigured before them. What does that mean? He is shining white, he's large, his face is glowing, and he is with Moses and Elijah. Well, here's the problem. How do you think that Peter, James, and John knew who Jesus was with? Well, of course, it's by the Holy Spirit. The Spirit led them to understand who Jesus was speaking to. Jesus is giving them a foreshadowing of his life in heaven and who he is, but they're seeing this for the first time. And remember, there's no iconography in the Jewish world. There's no pictures of biblical characters, none. So there's no way that they would know except by the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. There is no way they would know who Moses and Elijah were. And yet we see that he is revealed to them, and then, of course, he tells them to not tell anybody, and it's not until after the resurrection, if you remember, Peter writes about it and says, "We heard the excellent glory. We were there with him and on the Mount of Transfiguration." So just so you understand, the Holy Spirit now is the one who gave them discernment as to who Jesus was speaking with. God bless you guys, and we'll see you again next time.